I'm going to ask the question.
It's not, well, what you don't know about the
What
expert,
don't
Brannon.
you know about the expert?
Okay.
Guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. If you have not yet, please subscribe. And you can click the bell so you can get notified whenever we go live. And love to hear you in the comments, any feedback that you got. We're going to get rolling. What don't you know about the expert, Brannon Patrick?
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to ask all these questions. But first, I'm just going to give you a short reminder. If you wanted to get in on From Shattered Trust to Thriving Intimacy, it's our 6-week course that we have online. You can head over to shatteredtothriving.com and use the code HOLIDAY, all caps, and get a sweet discount. So, all right, let's start this because I want you guys to know a little more about Brannon here because he's pretty awesome. So,
Yep.
First off, why the heck did you become a therapist?
Well, I have the lamest answer for this.
And not common.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know. I have my undergrad in economics, and I got a job out of school, and I hated it. And I was this like recovery auditor guy, and I was felt like nothing for humanity at that job. And I was miserable, and I was just like, I got to do something to help people and to be connected to people. And so I started looking at grad school, and I went and I got my MSW just because I knew that would be, being involved with people. And one thing led to another, which led to another, and I almost quit being a therapist several times. But God just kept saying, like, no, you got to hang in there. Like, stay there. This is where you need to be. And so I have, and here I am. So I know that's not really an answer, but that's why I'm here.
From economist to therapist.
Yeah, I guess. Truth is I do love people deeply and genuinely, and I care about their well-being, and I feel a calling to be a part of healing, and so that's why I'm a therapist.
Yeah. And that's what we hear, honestly, when people have an intake with Brannon. They're like, my gosh, like, he really seemed like he, like, cared about me and was interested. And I'm like, because he was.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, where did you do your schooling?
So when I got married, my wife was a nurse, and we didn't have any kids, and we were like, let's go to grad school somewhere cool. So we went to Hawaii. I'm a warrior, so I graduated from the University of Hawaii. Loved it there. Loved the weather, loved the culture. It was so diverse and beautiful, and we were there for 3 years, and it was just an awesome thing for us in our marriage.
Did you have kids there?
Well, that's why we came home. So we had our first daughter there, and it was hard to raise kids there. So we ended up coming back home to Utah. So,
okay.
Yeah, but Hawaii was incredible.
Did you have any moments when you were in school that were like, okay, this piece might be a deal breaker for what I'm going to do? Or did you know going into your graduate program what specific discipline or like how you wanted to practice?
I gravitated toward hard. So I was not, I would, if something looked challenging, that's kind of what I went to. So
really?
Yeah, what I studied in school was, I worked in the state hospital with severe mental illness, and I just wanted to learn as much as I could about the hardest stuff. And school was a cakewalk. Graduating and then getting my first job in substance abuse, that was where the real training began. And that's where the real challenge began. So I got a job for, I don't know what it was, like $13 an hour and no benefits. And I was working.
With your master's? What did you say?
Yeah, I had my, so I took a huge pay cut because I got my master's degree.
Dang.
Yeah, and so I had to work under somebody for 2 years to get my license. And it was a real eye-opening experience to understand what addiction really is, what recovery really is. So I cut my teeth treating substance abuse, and I was at a county-funded program with a lot of people that did not want to be there. They were mandated there by the state, and that's how I got my training, and that's how I got my foot in the door with addiction. But then I got licensed, and right after I got licensed, I realized I wanted out of the system so much. And
what?
I wanted to get out of the system, so out of the county-funded programs, out of the state programs. And so I was looking at private practice, and I emailed somebody, and I said, hey, can I come work under you at your private practice? And she gave me an opportunity. And it was really interesting because it took a turn I didn't expect. At first I thought, wow, thank you. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And I was so grateful. She started filling groups up for me. This is sexual addiction and betrayal trauma. It was codependency back then. I started to fill up this caseload in this practice, but as I was being trained under her, I was seeing a lot of destruction. I was seeing a lot of failed recovery, failed relationships. And so I learned a lot of what not to do from one of my first mentors. And so it helped me try to, at this time there wasn't a ton of understanding about sex addiction, betrayal trauma. And
meaning there wasn't lots of research, there wasn't lots of science
no,
behind
not at all.
Any like either of those two.
No. And so it was brand new. And so I had to kind of on my own try to figure out what worked and what didn't. I knew what wasn't working, and I had a colleague named Kathy who was in the same boat as me, and we just kind of together would bounce things off of each other and share ideas and share with each other what was working and what wasn't. And so that really was I learned by being in the trenches. Like I was there in the trenches not knowing what I was really doing. and I joke a little bit because I have some old clients who got really healthy when they worked with me then, and I tell them like, look, I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
This really was you.
This was you created your recovery. And really I am so thankful to those first clients of mine that showed me what recovery is, you know, despite how not good I was.
Right.
They are the ones that catapulted me to actually gain an expertise and understand how to do this.
That's rad. Okay, so what you guys might not know is Brannon is, you guys know this, that he's very kind of in tune and dialed in with people. So you've got that ability to really go there and understand people. But what you also have, which a lot of you probably don't know, is that Brannon can be very, very direct and very bold and just very transparent and honest. So how did you learn to be brutally honest? Not to this,
but
to
it's
the
not
point of
mean.
like, it's not mean-spirited, but be so honest with somebody to give them truth, but yet, how did you learn how to just do that?
I love that question, Coby, because
that's a skill.
I used to be so arrogant and pride myself. Like, look, I didn't go into therapy because I need therapy. I'm better than that, right? But as I started my private practice, I was so codependent with my clients. I cared so much that they liked me. I wanted them to like me, and so I'd skirt around things, and I'd just try to be nice. And what happened is I wasn't retaining any clients. They all thought, oh, that Brannon guy, he's a nice guy, but they didn't want to come back for therapy. And it took a lot of my own internal work to say, can I get over needing them to like me in order to be a good therapist? And what happened was, it was, when we talk about courage and stepping into vulnerability, day in and day out, I had to face people head on and have them look at me and be like, I hate your guts or I love you, right? and I need to get to a point where I didn't care. And
which is so crazy because you can't, like, people can't get into you now.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So that's what happened when I started to not be codependent, to just be honest and to really love people, but also be direct with them and honest with them. That's what actually helped them. So I needed to remove myself from the whole equation some, and be able to just reflect back realities to them, And it was uncomfortable for me, but it was one of the best learning experiences for me. Taught me how to be boundaried. I've had clients stand up in the middle of sessions and slam doors in my face and tell me I'm horrible. And you know what? Like, that's okay. That's okay.
Because you get that that's where they are.
Absolutely. And I don't take it personally. I remember when I first started, I went to this group this other therapist was running, and she had a couple come in, and kind of like you guys, right? Mm-hmm. They came in, they're like, we're in recovery, here's our story, and then they just heaped praise on her about how amazing she was. And I sat back and thought, man, if I can get one couple to say that stuff about me, then I've arrived, right? And as I went through this process of letting go, of getting my worth from other people, I've run a lot of groups now where couples who I've worked with have come and vouched for how amazing I am. And to be honest with you, it feels good because I know they're doing good, and I'm happy that they're happy. But it doesn't move the needle much for me in terms of like, oh yeah, I'm so amazing. I already know that I'm amazing. I already know that God loves me.
That's awesome.
And so I appreciate that they can find recovery regardless of me.
That's rad. Okay, so tell us about your family. You got kidlets?
I got 2 boys, 2 girls, and they're everything to me. And so, yeah, being a dad is my favorite thing that I do.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, what do you like to do as a dad?
I love to go fishing, wrestle them. I love to get our big dog to annoy them.
You have a really fun backyard.
Yeah,
like,
you guys hang out there.
I love the yard. I love nature. I like being grounded to the earth and getting the kids out in nature with me.
You like to go camping? You guys have like
camp,
a camper trailer that you guys haul around everywhere?
Yeah, so just anything active.
What do you like to do with Jenny?
Which is your wife.
Yeah, Jenny's my wife, and Jenny's funny because we balance each other really well.
So you guys are opposites.
Yeah, so I'm like, wake up in the morning and we better do something today or else the sky's going to fall. Like, let's go. Come on. And she can sit around and do nothing all day. Just sit there and be perfectly content. Like, slow energy, low energy. She really chills me out.
Yeah.
So I just like talking with her and hanging out with her. She just really chills me out and stuff.
She's chill, but she's also incredibly
She's a
funny.
fireball, too. Yeah.
She's so funny. I love Jenny. But I get what you're saying. Like, her energy is really calm and good, and it's not like what most people that I would think I gravitate towards that are funny is usually really high energy.
Right. No.
She has a good combo going.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Super does.
Yeah,
okay, so when you have time all to yourself, and you don't have to be dad, you don't have to be partner, then what's your thing?
Expert.
Yeah, or the expert.
Probably watching a little too much football.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's that time of year.
College or pro?
Both.
Okay.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
Right?
Knuckles are going on here.
Yeah. I love sports. Any sport. But like I said, just getting up in the mountains. I live right at the base of the canyon. I do love yard work and I hate yard work at the same time. So, yeah, that's my thing.
Okay.
I love it.
Oh wait, this one's my favorite.
Okay.
Your marriage is perfect, right? Because you're a therapist.
Yeah. Yes. Next question.
No,
I mean,
what's hard for you, Brannon?
In marriage or
Sure.
Well, I hope Jenny doesn't listen to this.
She
episode.
doesn't listen to any, does she?
I don't think she's ever listened to an episode. So
Our live one. She was there for our live one.
Oh, we go to this live event and there's like all these people there, and we leave, and she's like, "Whoa, like people really drink your Kool-Aid."
Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks, honey. I'm glad you're so engaged in what I do here.
So funny.
No, my marriage. When I married Jenny, I got this distinct feeling that this is going to be a wild ride, and that's what it's been. It's our highs are really, really high, and our lows are really, really low, and so we've learned how to navigate through those things so much better. And luckily, my work has really helped. Her work has really helped, and it's helped us navigate those things. But we've had moments where we're so sick and tired of each other. We fight. But we fight so much better now and communicate so much better now. And we give space for our own individuality, whereas before we didn't. We were really codependent to each other. So, yeah, I'm learning. I'm growing.
Does it matter does she feel like you're doing therapy on me? Does that play a role in your marriage?
She's been a lot less than you'd think. So, I think I actually have pretty good boundaries with that, where I'm not like, well, let me tell you and let me psychoanalyze you. And she's pretty good at not kind of using that against me of like, well, you're the know-it-all therapist, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't really do that to me, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have to share, one time Coby and I came in to do a podcast and we were not in like a good energy with each other.
Nope.
And I said, Brannon, I don't think we should record. Like, we're just not in a good place. And your response made me feel normal because you said, well, last night Jenny and I were ready to get divorced.
Absolutely, yes.
So like, you're okay, Ashlynn.
Yes, there's
like,
ups and downs, and yes. So, yeah, I'm human, of course, and yeah. I got stuff that I'm working through as well.
Yeah,
So
like
awesome.
we all do, and that's why you make us feel normal.
Yeah, again, what you guys, if you've listened before, you know that my experience with my dad was my dad never did his own work, and
your
he's
dad
a
is
therapist.
a therapist.
Yeah, my dad's a therapist, and so the fact that you do that you do even still, is to me remarkable.
Yeah.
It's remarkable,
Thanks,
and
Coby.
it takes a lot of courage, I think, to be that guy who's like, I'm going to be the landscaper and I'm going to take care of my yard.
Yeah. And
or hire a landscaper, like that's really
Right.
what you say you're doing.
Right. My mom is a school counselor and my brother is a therapist. And I'm really blessed because my brother, and he's really humble and works on himself a lot. And so there's pressure as a therapist to be like, hey, I got to have all this figured out. My life better be perfect and my life better look good.
Mm.
And he's really helped me. We talk about our struggles and our blemishes and our challenges with our clients and things like that. So I'm really blessed to have good support to help me be human, right?
That's rad.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's rad.
Okay, last question. What would our listeners be shocked if they knew about you?
Oh.
Shock them.
I'm a 5-time Family Feud champion.
What?
Yes.
Wait, did
So,
we know this?
I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
You guys all heard that correctly.
You can go to Amazon. I think it's Amazon Prime has this episode. It's 2007 episode like 16 and 17 or something. Yeah.
Can you be more exact on that?
Just
Just
kidding.
had to tell it before.
Yeah, I
That's
gave
so
some really
cool.
bad answers. If you go look it up, like I'm sorry, but we didn't lose, so we won something like $47,000.
What?
So, yeah.
Your family.
And
We
who
had to-
did you do it
We
with?
had to split it 7 ways and pay taxes, so I ended up with like $4 grand.
$5.
So
Who? What family did you do it with?
it was with my siblings, so it was my sister, my brother, and my parents.
Oh my gosh,
So, yeah.
that's cool.
That's so funny. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's something that most people be like, what? What?
All right. I love it.
I
Well,
love it. It's
thanks
totally
for giving us a little inside Brannon today,
You bet.
because I think that's fun.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see ya.
See ya.